Hey, this is Visions of Rock, and we're here talking to Rob Thomas. Rob, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Very good. So obviously you're a household name as a talented musician, but little do people know you're a photographer as well.
I believe that after this, my name is going to be synonymous with great photography.
So how did you get into it?
The guy who used to be our drummer, Paul, who now is our guitar player, he's one of those guys who everything he does it really well. Like he decides he's going to be a painter, and he's a painter, and he wants to play guitar, he just plays guitar. And he wanted to be a photographer, and he was a really good photographer, and it really cheesed me off. So now I think just out of pure spite, I want to become a good photographer just so I can take good pictures too.
Great competitive nature. That's awesome. Do you see a connection between the stories you tell in your songs and the pictures that you're taking?
There's such a link, I think, between everything you do that's artistic. Every song that I've ever written has a picture in my head. And that's why sometimes video is a bad thing, because it distorts it and puts another picture that's always in your head, like once you see that video. But like when you write a song, you have this image, there's all these colors that come from all the notes and from the melodies. When you take a really great picture, it's kind of like a song in that way. I mean, you're trying to get all the elements perfect in that 1 second of that one little moment in time, just to freeze it, to remember it, the way that you see it in your head.
What inspires you now to take photos?
I like real life, like whatever it be. Like I'm taking two different sets of pictures. I've got a brand new band that I'm working with solo, and I want to come in and just invade them with the camera on their first day, on the job, settling down and trying to learn how to be a band again for the first time. But I'm also just taking pictures of rich old white people. I live in Westchester, and there's so many different examples of it that I think is kind of funny, so that's wound up being my side project.
What do you think of the Nikon D60?
Man, it's a really great camera. Once you buy the camera, I feel like you're halfway on your way to being a great photographer. When I watch the screen on each shot, it's kind of teaching you how to set the aperture and how to set the focus as you go along. Like if you're paying attention to the settings that you're in and like the pictures that you're taking, what it's telling you, then you start to know on your own, okay, well, this kind of a setting, I need to set it like this. And that's really the most daunting thing, I think, when somebody goes in to do something like this for the first time. The creative part kind of gets away from them because they're so busy worrying about the technical aspect of it, Like if I don't know exactly how to set my aperture, I'm not going to be able to capture this moment. So I think it's great for the time being, like as you're learning, to have something so that when the moment arises, you can still get that picture and still get a really good picture.
In your opinion, what is it that makes a great photo when you go back and look through them?
I think when you don't have to tell the story. It's one thing to take like a bunch of vacation photos and, every picture is, as you're going through it, well, this is, we were here and there was this guy here, blah, blah, blah. But it's so great when you can just put the picture on and it explains itself and you don't have to say anything and people just want to sit there and look at it and let it tell its own story.
Tell us about the charity that you're shooting for.
It's for Sidewalk Angels Foundation that my wife and I started a couple years ago, and now it's become my wife's obsession. We're actually planning a benefit at the end of this year to help out with Pets Alive, which is the only no-kill shelter here on the East Coast for animals.
I'm sure they appreciate the photos you're taking for them.
We appreciate what they do at Pets Alive, so anything that we at Sidewalk Angels can do is always great.
Well, Rob, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
I'm glad that you could talk to me now before I take the world by storm with my photography.
We can't wait to see it.
I'll be way too big to talk to after that.
We hope not. This is Visions of Rock.